All right, here in the finals, and we're going to keep this hand. No blue mana, but we're keeping busy with our 2-drops, so we'll keep. Opponent is mulling to 5. And keeping. All right. Little hesitant about that 5 card keep, which means could be relying heavily on a top deck here. We'll see. Well, looks like they got it. I don't think you... Well, unless it's all lands. Let's be honest. I don't know what I'm talking about. I always like to speculate on any sort of hesitancy on a 5 card keep. Because if you see... Usually if you see any combination of lands or spells on 5 cards, you just gotta keep. Ah, True Fate Sensor, yes. Very good, very good. Alright, well, I'm going to drop the Inquisitor here. Ooh, a Curse Switch. Card is very good. Would not mind drawing a blue mana here. Huh. Can't tap it. Guess we go Inspector plus Priest anyway? Not exactly sure what I'm going to do about that Witch. Maybe it's actually better to, since I can't tap that especially, hunt for that blue mana right now. There we go. Alright, so now I can at least Sleep Paralysis after he equips. And begin the beatdown again. I could have just attacked into it. Maybe that'd be better. Huh. If he's not equipping, that's something as well. Ah, Survivalists. Okay. Well, let's see here. What is the play? So the play can be one of two things. By the way, Priest so far is not looking so bueno. So I want to Sleep Paralysis the Witch, which means maybe I play the Herald and bash for 5 and attempt to race. He can bash back for 10 potentially, which is pretty big. But I still think that's the play I'm going to go for here. I can keep my Inspector back to chump, but I think it's a bit premature. So obviously I'm not making the best use of mana, but I do want to attempt to race here. I can also tap down with Guardian now with the Nebelgast Herald, so I can still race here. I also have Spectral Reserves. I've got some good things going for me here. All right. Ooh, it's a nice mythic. Scrutiny. All right, let's go reserves. You can crack back for 12 though, which is a lot. So we're gonna tap down his 2 dudes. If we smash for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, he can smash back for quite a bit, but we can also... This thing has trample, though. It's pretty awesome. If I smash for 6, it takes him to 7. If I smash for 7, it takes him to 6. Let's see. I'm going to want to block the Inspector on the Witch, I think, to prevent some damage. I think we're just smashing for 6 here. I need to attempt. I want to keep my spirits. I mean, I can also Guardian plus Scrutiny, which means I can tap something down, like the Flare. Alright, so we're just going to chump the Witch. Just going to hit us with the Flare. So he doesn't actually get card advantage from Grimflayer, but he does get card quality. Which is certainly not to be overlooked. Ah, so he got his Emerge on too. Ooh, and he got Abundant Maw. Wow, killing it. I immediately am super concerned now. My opponent is annihilating me now with his mulligan to 5 too. So I am extremely concerned about this matchup already. So we pretty much have to... What do we have to do? We gotta do a lot of things. And I can't do enough of them here, which is a problem. I can only deal 4 in the air. Yeah, this is gonna be real tough. So I think the play is Priest plus Scrutiny on my opponent's Flare. We're going to chump block the Maw. That's pretty bad. Yeah, we're in big trouble. We are in some seriously big trouble here. All right, I guess, yeah, that's the play. So we're swinging with the Herald and the Spirits. Play the Priest. Leave up the Scrutiny. All right, so I really wish I had better blocks here. I just don't. I really don't have good blocks here. If I double block this, I lose both my guys. If I chump Scrutiny, I'm still in a fairly difficult spot, especially considering he's going to gain more life. And I think my play next turn has to be sleep paralysis on this, or sleep paralysis on this to tap down this. But then I still don't have... I mean, I am just in a real tough spot here. I mean, another option I have is chump the Maw, double block the Grim Flare, and then Scrutiny the Flare. And if he's got any sort of pump effect, we die. We also still take 4 damage, going to 2, going to 1 on my turn, which means I have to kill him the next turn, which just seems completely impossible to do. Yeah, we are in a really tough spot. I think we actually have to do the double chump, which is really bad. Really, really rough spot here. So we're going to be able to live, but barely. He also is gaining more life, which we really needed him to not do here. Yeah, that's just bad. That's just real bad. That is just real bad. Any sort of play here that's reasonable. Any at all. Just no. Just no. I sleep paralysis this guy, so I can at least tap down the Abundant Maw. Attack with the Spirit. All right. That was bad. That was real bad. I got nothing. This is how we got to run it. Okay. All right. Let's try this one more time. All right, let's mull the 5. Get a good hand to keep. Sure. Yep. There we go. We got it. Well, he's off green mana. That's a good sign. Yeah, that card's tough. I mean, funny thing is our deck has multiple answers to it, but does not make it less intimidating. All right, let's drop the El Capitan. Well, I guess we don't have to. We can do Outrider too. No, let's do the Captain. I'm going to swing into the Witch with the Inspector. I think if we're this far behind on cards, let's go for the race. And yes, I'll trade this. In fact, he doesn't even want to make the trade. Faithbearer Paladin, I guess, can beat an Accursed Witch. Ah, twins. He should have madnessed that. He could have blocked one of my spirits. I mean, he still can block a spirit, but he would have been able to block my Captain as well. Yeah, I guess we go for the Researcher here. Think I'm going to trade my Captain for the Witch. Can also chump the Witch. Doesn't seem great. I mean, yeah, I think we're just going to chump here. Well, I mean, him being off green mana, I couldn't ask for better. To be frank. So he can jump and block my Researcher with his Dragoon, which doesn't seem great. I think we're just going to swing with the Spirits. All right. Time to trade off here. All right. So I think we swing with everything. He didn't jump his Dragoon, so I guess I'm more worried he's got a... Yeah, I mean... He must have the mutation or something. No? Alright. Well, just play the Outrider, I guess. Alright, a miss, but I didn't really want to draw 4 lands anyway, so I guess that's okay. I mean, he's at least got another turn in him. Unless I draw a pump spell. If I draw pump, we can win right now. Oh my god. That is incredible. That is a shocking win. My opponent wins on a mull to 5. I win on a mull to 5. But the difference is I had a good draw on my 7 when he beat me on a mull to 5. It's not like my hand was bad, I don't think. This time, he had some problems. Clearly. He was off green the whole game. So, yes. Very surprised we won that. Happy we did. If that happens again, we could totally steal game 3. So, yeah, I think our best odds are our opponent getting mana screwed, and we have like a perfect 7. Because if we go toe-to-toe card quality versus card quality, I do not have confidence. He has got a lot of creatures that pair very well against my creatures. Wow, this hand on the draw. We have one of our more powerful cards in True Fate Sensor. The problem is we have no creatures. I mean, True Fate Sensor is going to be a way to beat his dudes. But he's also got True Fate Sensor. Something I got to be conscious of. We have no creatures in hand. If we draw just lands, this hand is going to be a disaster. If we rip creature spells, which we have 17 if you include the Spectre reserves. So we have more than a 50% chance of drawing a creature. That's not bad. I think I'm going to risk it. I'm concerned. I'll say that, but wow. My opponent mulling to 5 again. All right. That is the draw we were looking for. Jeez. Thank God I drew something. I probably would have just made that trade. I can actually unsubstantiate, which is kind of nice. He's off black mana now. All right. I'm going to take the damage because I want to see what he does. All right. Let's unsubstantiate. So I can play 2 spells here, but I don't think we are. We're going to take it. All right. Okay. Borrowed Grace, not bad. Well, that's good news. So I can unsubstantiate now. It's really not great, but I mean, I am behind on the race. I guess we do. I guess the main reason to do it is I've got the clue, so I can at least draw another card. But if I don't do that, I still have to take beats for 4, which I don't think is acceptable. Alright, well, I mean, the good news is I can attack into that and safely borrowed Grace. Or sleep paralysis. Both of those options seem appealing. Let's rip a clue here. Alright. I can actually Guardians here. Does not make better use of mana, but it's going to set up for a better borrowed Grace sleep paralysis play, especially if I draw land. And yeah, that seems better. All right. So let me think. Oh, well, I can sleep paralysis and I can still borrowed Grace. If I wait on the borrowed Grace and I attack with both, he blocks Twins on Steadfast Cathar and probably blocks Dragoon on Guardian. What if he double blocks here? That would give this 6 toughness still with borrowed Grace. Well, we have lethal if he doesn't block, so it seems like he's got to do a block. So it seems like a good turn to do the Borrowed Grace and kind of clear up some board clutter. He could triple block the Cathar, and then I would only... Well, what if he blocks with Twins and Dragoon? That's still okay, because if I Grace, I can kill the Twins and he can't kill my Cathar, because it's got 6 toughness. Alright, we're going for it. We're going to swing with both. Although, no, then he can block the Guardians with the... Well, that doesn't matter either, actually. Because it's going to live from the Borrowed Grace. Alright, this is fine. Alright, well... I'm a little more surprised he wanted to kill the... Logger rather than the Dragoon. The Dragoon does fly. And I guess it's a madness outlet. But the Logger, I don't know. The Logger seemed better to me. Wailing Ghoul. So, I mean, we can sleep paralysis the Dragoon. I guess we do that. Uh-oh. Had the mutation. Still make the trade. He does gain life. We get to re-equip. Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty awesome for my opponent. I mean, we got a top deck hot here. Our opponent does too, but I think our opponent's average top deck has got to be better than ours. We've got a lot of little dudes. And lands. Well, I guess that's good. Fighting through it. Wow. Jeez. Can you imagine if our opponent didn't... Actually, that was one of the strangest matches. My opponent had to mull to 5 2 of the 3 games, which is like incredibly unlucky for them and incredibly lucky for us. Granted, we had to mulligan to 5 in game 2, but the fact that there were 2 mulligan to 5 victories versus a 7-card hand in itself is pretty remarkable. But like I said, we were very, very lucky there that we got a victory. We went to a top deck war where like I said, I think the average card in my opponent's deck is way better than ours. And multiply that by the fact that he's got the True Fate Sensor, so any creature draw is going to be a bigger vigilant creature. So that's pretty remarkable that we won that. Yeah, like I think if you ran like 10 matches of these decks playing against each other, I think my opponent's deck would probably win 7 or 8 out of 10. Yeah, so super lucky. We had a very small, I think, chance of winning that. I mean, just based on the cards we saw. Because if you think about a lot of the cards we saw, and there were some plays that maybe my opponent could have done differently. Like they could have discarded some cards to block my spirits at some point, right? With the Dragoon. Like basically trading a card in hand for a spirit isn't great, but if you have nothing else going on, which it seemed like our opponent at the time didn't, then it would have been a more viable play. Also, we gave the opponent one opportunity with the True Faith Paladin to discard a card and block our Aberrant Researcher. Granted, we would have started gaining some life, but he would have also stopped the thing that ended up killing him. So it's not like our opponent necessarily made a mistake, but the outcome did make it so him not blocking our Researcher let it flip, and then it proceeded to kill him. Yeah, wow, that's insane that we won that. Definitely our opponent getting unlucky and mulling to 5 2 games was like a necessity. All right, we'll see you for the next one.